I am so excited, everybody. Hello. I want to share this awesome update for you, which I really think can help all corporate women essentially be in a place of ease, coming out of like trigger moments, feeling like you've got what you need to move into your next level of leadership. And it has to do with my podcast that came out yesterday with Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. Who has heard this? This is incredible. And I want to really highlight this because I spent a week studying Dr. Bolte's Dr. Jill Fuller, her work this summer at the Wright Graduate University, my leadership intensive training there that I do every year. And it was an exposure to her work in a way that I hadn't really seen. So we mostly know Jill from the world of her TED Talk 10 years ago. She really had that first TED Talk, Stroke of Insight, where she literally brought the brain out and talked about her stroke that was really helping her learn more about not being in her logic brain, but this world of her right side of the brain. That was the only part of her that was active and really, really responsive. She couldn't do anything else. And who remembers this? Like, let me know if you're watching this, if you're here. I want to know if you are, hearing share. Whoops. And so this is the woman who's on the podcast this week. I reached out to her after learning more about her in Whole Brain Living, which is her latest book, which is all about how to access these parts of your brain, not even your brain, your body, your full self, that are there anyway, but because of our conditioning, because of how we are thinking about our lives and what we do, we don't pay attention to it. And so it just maybe gets a little louder, or it ends up sabotaging what you want in your initiatives, your goals, like all of these things. So I'm so excited to share her with you. And if you haven't read Whole Brain Living or know about it, get the book, Whole Brain Living. But first start with the podcast. We talk about the 4 characters. And I think this is game changing. She's actually coming out with coaching for intensive coaching philosophy and practices around how to really access your whole brain, these 4 characters. And you got to listen to the podcast to get it all, because she's such a great speaker. If you've heard her speak, you'll know, right? And if you watch that TED Talk, you remember her with the little pigtails and stuff. She's incredible. And she's talking from her houseboat, by the way. She lives in Kentucky in a houseboat, which is pretty fun, I'd say, as a neuroscientist. And she's committed towards this world of helping people understand how to access their whole brain, which is a little different than her TED Talk was back in the day. So how does this relate to feeling at ease? How does this relate to you? And so first step, listen. Actually, you don't have to watch it. It is on my YouTube channel, but it's actually on audio, and I posted it here yesterday, and you'll get a sense of it. And then from there, think about how it relates to you. Do the brain huddle exercise at the end that she walks us through. Because the idea is, when we're in those trigger moments, when we're feeling conflicted, maybe you feel like the world is caving in on you. Like, I literally yesterday had an experience where I felt like I just released energy. Like, I just released sadness. I was sad. I cried. And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying, but here's the thing with emotions. Like, we don't need to know why. Our brains want to figure it out, but that doesn't help us. Our body is releasing stored cellular energy and emotions that's at the cellular level. And that's proven now in science, where we aren't just thinking these emotions, man, these are a part of us, but they pass through us. And according to Dr. Jill, she says it takes 90 seconds for an emotion to be transmitted and complete. That's it, 90 seconds, a minute and a half. So literally, I sat there and I cried. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my minute and a half and see where it goes. And sure enough, I felt better, and I felt complete, and I felt like I could move on to the next thing. It was fascinating. And it's just a good reminder for me, and all of us, really, that we can move into a space that feels more whole, because we're giving attention to those parts we just want to push away, we don't want to worry about or feel the pain in. And so when we're feeling dis-ease, when we're feeling stressed, it's because we're not listening to the parts of us that might have a message to say. In my opinion, there's feelings bottled up that we aren't allowing ourselves to listen to or access. And so our body's like, nope, not today. It's not happening. So what happens is we end up going into our heads. And that's what overwhelm is when we're spinning in that world. So ease comes from whole brain living, whole body living, and listening to these parts of ourselves. And Bolte Taylor talks about the 4 characters. And I guess I'll just go into these super quickly because I think they're really important. And this is also related to another type of therapy, by the way, called family systems therapy from Richard Schwartz, Dr. Richard Schwartz, who I met years ago at Wisdom 2.0. And I've studied him and written papers on him, but the idea is there's fabulous, he does some fabulous meditations on YouTube. And it's really just, he doesn't have 4 characters, but it's basically about the idea that we all have these parts in ourselves all the time, unconsciously, that are ruling our life. And because we don't pay attention, we don't sit down and say, okay, what are you trying to tell me right now? Hurt, sad, Rachel, whoever that is for you, little you, then we don't go into that and explore it. And it just doesn't go away either because it's a part of us. So if we actually pay attention to these characters, then that changes. So character number one is more of a logistical character, really focused on the thought process, wired into thoughts, thinking logically, analytically. They're the one who kind of like does all the planning, gets you on schedule, keeps you on time, order in the world, and maybe a little bit of a drill sergeant to the other extreme. Okay, so that part of us is there. Maybe it's underdeveloped or overdeveloped, but this is what's so cool is like we can all relate to these, right? Number 2 character is emotional based. This is more of the right brain, which is more of that shadow side. And we go into this in the podcast about, that's the darker side that is the subconscious that we don't really let ourselves know about because it's the things that we want to cover up that maybe we don't like about ourselves. And then that part has got a lot to protect us and keep us safe. So that's an emotional ruling character. The 3rd character is also emotional, but it's more on that playful side. It might be like that little person inside of you who wants to make things happen and be different, but also have fun and engage and just be like, what's the big deal? Let's go play in the sand. She makes this great analogy about the beach. And number 4 character is your higher self. So this would be your wise self with a capital S, as we say. So this is your more, spiritual being side, your soul speaking. So maybe this character, I'll just use the example I've been working with, which was me crying yesterday and feeling sad. My higher self would be like, I love you. You're okay. And I was like, oh, cool. Thank you. So when we allow ourselves to give access to these characters, to give them their voices, to listen, we heal. And so this is how we get out of that dis-ease, feeling overwhelmed, feeling too stressed, and get into a place that feels more at ease because we're in our bodies, literally feeling things. Like this to me is what's missing in the corporate world. We don't really yet talk about it. We don't really facilitate it this way, but that's my mission, right? That's what the power of pause is allowing you to know there are options to intentionally shift your behavior so that you can do whatever you came here to do and shine in the ways that you were born to shine. Yeah. So if you're ready to be born to shine, let me know. Hi, Lydia. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. Love you. And remember this, like this, you got like, so I want to put like must watch in the title of Bolte Taylor's podcast this week, because she's got so much wisdom. She's such a wise soul, literally. Like we've all probably heard her name, and she doesn't even she I think really protects her time and knows she's doing these things in the world that are life and game changing. So super inspiring for me. I think she'll be super inspiring for you. Go listen, let me know what you think. It's about an hour long. She's got so much to say. There was no way I was going to say we're going any shorter than an hour because she has so much wealth of knowledge and knowing that she shared. All right. So I'll put the link in the chat. If you just go to anchor.fm/pausecast, you'll see all the channels there. And I'm excited for you to hear her more. And let me know what you think, right? You can leave me an audio message. I know you've done that already, a few of you, which is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And even if you haven't, I know that you can let me know. And my goal is that I set you up for success. This is about my work and much as your work, which is feeling and helping others feel fulfilled as you transform, really, as you become someone you couldn't imagine you become, because you get over the blocks that have held you back for however long you've lived, probably. So I'm excited to hear back from you, and message me if this really speaks to you. If you want to learn more, this work is near and dear to my heart, because there's a lot of trauma-informed work I've done, and I can help you as a corporate leader really relate this to the world of work, because we can get stuck. But the way we do one thing is the way we do all things. So basically, my guess is if you're feeling stuck in the corporate world, you might be feeling stuck in other worlds too. So let's talk. Let's just connect. I would love to know more. Thank you, my dears. Great to be with you today. And I wish you all the best, and have fun watching and listening rather to Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor this week. Okay.